The rain lashed against the glass windows of the CEO's penthouse, but Elena hardly noticed. Her hands shook as she stared at the little stick in her hand. 2 bold pink lines. Her heart thudded painfully. She whispered to herself, "I'm pregnant." It should have been a moment of joy, but dread knotted in her stomach. Her husband, Adrian Knight, was one of the most powerful CEOs in the city. Cold, proud, untouchable. And though she was his wife on paper, Elena knew his heart had never belonged to her. Their marriage was arranged, a deal between families, and Adrian had never hidden the fact that he loved another woman. The sound of heavy footsteps made her freeze. She barely had time to shove the test into her pocket before Adrian appeared in the doorway, his expression as unreadable as ever. "Elena," he said in that clipped, emotionless tone. "I want this over with. Sign the divorce papers." Her lips parted, her voice weak. "Adrian, now." He placed a file on the table, not meeting her eyes. "Yes, I've already signed them. You only need to do the same. There's no reason to drag this out." The words cut deeper than she expected. She had told herself she didn't care anymore, that she would walk away with her dignity. But standing in front of him, knowing she carried his child, her chest ached with unbearable pain. "Tell him," a voice in her head screamed. "Tell him you're pregnant. Tell him he's going to be a father." But when she looked at him, she saw nothing. No warmth, no love, only a man who wanted her gone so he could return to the woman he had always desired. Her hand slipped into her pocket. Slowly, she pulled out the test. For a moment, she stared at it, trembling. Then, before Adrian could see, she tore it into pieces, the sound echoing like a knife slicing through her heart. The shreds fluttered into the trash can. She forced her tears back and whispered, "Fine." With a shaking hand, she picked up the pen and scrawled her name across the papers. Just like that, their marriage was over. Adrian took the file without hesitation. "You'll receive a settlement. Consider this compensation." His cold tone left no room for argument. Elena's throat burned, but she managed a nod. "Goodbye, Adrian." She walked past him, her stomach twisting, her secret heavy inside her. He didn't stop her. He didn't even look back. That night, Elena left the city behind. She left the pain, the wealth, and the man who had broken her. All she carried was her unborn child, and the vow that Adrian would never know. 6 years later, in a small town miles away, Elena smiled as she held the hand of her daughter, Lily, a bright little girl with stormy gray eyes so much like Adrian's. Life wasn't easy, but it was peaceful. Elena had built everything from scratch, raising Lily with love and warmth Adrian could never have given. She thought she had buried the past. Until one evening, at a glittering charity gala where she was working as part of the event staff, she heard his voice. "Elena." Her breath caught. She turned, and there he was. Adrian Knight, more powerful, more commanding than ever. His gaze locked onto hers, then dropped to the child clutching her dress. Adrian Knight's entire world stopped. For 6 years he had buried himself in work, in power, in control. But now, staring at the little girl clinging to Elena's dress, the control he prided himself on shattered. The child's soft curls framed her delicate face, but it was her eyes, the same stormy gray as his, that made his chest tighten painfully. He stepped closer, his voice low, shaking despite his attempt at calm. "Elena." Who was she? Elena's arms instinctively wrapped around Lily, pulling her closer. Her heart hammered in her chest. She had prayed this day would never come, but fate had cruelly thrown them together. "She's mine," Elena whispered. Adrian's jaw clenched. His eyes darkened with fury, but beneath the anger was something else, something raw, wounded. "Yours," he repeated bitterly. "Don't play games with me, Elena." "You mean, ours." Her lips trembled, but she lifted her chin defiantly. "No, you gave up that right the day you pushed those papers in front of me. The day you told me to sign away my place in your life." Adrian's chest heaved, his hands curling into fists. "You're telling me I had a daughter all these years, and you kept her from me." His voice cracked on the last words, betraying the storm inside him. Tears welled in Elena's eyes, but she stood firm. "You wouldn't have cared. You were too busy chasing someone else's love to notice mine. Or hers." Her words hit him like a blade. For years, he had convinced himself Elena had left coldly, without reason. But now the truth was laid bare, and the thought of 6 lost years with his child sent agony through him. He dropped to one knee, eye level with the little girl. Lily blinked at him with innocent curiosity. "Mommy," she tugged on Alina's dress, "who is this man? Why is he looking at me like that?" Adrian's throat tightened. His voice was husky, unsteady. I'm your father." The world seemed to stop. Lily tilted her head, confusion flickering across her small face. She looked up at Elena, searching for the truth. Alina's eyes brimmed with tears. For 6 years, she had hidden Lily's father from her, thinking it was for the best. But now, confronted with Adrian's desperate gaze, she didn't know what to say. "Elena." Adrian stood, his voice breaking. "I lost you once. I will not lose her. I won't lose either of you again." She flinched at his words. Don't say that. You had your chance, Adrian, and you threw it away." His eyes softened, filled with regret she had never seen before. "I was a fool, blind. I thought love was something I had to chase elsewhere, when it was right in front of me all along. But I see it now. I see her. I see you." Elena shook her head, torn between the ache in her chest and the truth in his words. Could she believe him? Could she let him into Lily's life when he had once cast them aside so easily? The ballroom around them seemed to fade, leaving only the 3 of them standing in the weight of a decision that would change everything. And then Lily's small, innocent voice broke the silence. "Daddy." Adrian's eyes filled with tears for the first time in years. He bent down again, his hand trembling as he held it out to her. "Yes, sweetheart, I'm your daddy." Alina's breath hitched as Lily slipped her tiny hand into his without fear. For the first time in years, Adrian Knight, the man who had once been untouchable, unbreakable, fell to his knees, humbled by the daughter he had never known and the woman he had once cast aside. But for Elena, the question remained. Would she let him back into their lives, or would she protect her heart from being broken again? And in an instant, his face went pale. Those storm-gray eyes stared at the little girl who looked so unmistakably like him.